Thank you for tuning in to the Liz Luras Show, Soldier Talk Radio. We are here tonight with a very near and dear guest. We are speaking with Christina Berganio, and she is the mother of Sergeant Michael Berganio of United States Marine Corps. So we are just blessed and honored to have you here today. Christina, welcome.
Thank you so much, Liz. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's just such a blessing to be so honored with your testimony and coming on here, being courageous and wanting to help other people heal. I know leading into this show, we've talked quite a lot offline about Michael, and I know you always reference him as Mikey. Can you tell us a little bit about him? Kind of give the rest of our listeners some information about his background and his life and leading into the military.
Sure. Mikey was my second son, and he was born October 17, 1980. And we were originally from California, moved up to Oregon in 93. And when he was in his junior year of high school, he decided that he was going to enlist into the United States Marine Corps, which I was very proud and happy that he made that choice and supported him wholeheartedly. So he did enter the Corps. That would be August 1999, right after graduating high school. And his first enlistment lasted 4 years. He was deployed to Afghanistan, and then he did leave the Corps and re-enlisted May 2004 until he was losing my words here until he got out the second time around, and that would be February 2008. He was very proud to serve the Marine Corps. He was very loyal to the Corps, and early on, it wasn't really easy, but it was something that he decided that he really did like. I asked him one time, I said, do you think, being in the Corps is like a job? And he said, not really, I just get up and do it every day, and I just thought that was great. So, he did serve in Afghanistan this first time around, and then he was deployed to Iraq, his second enlistment. So he did have those experiences.
Excellent. You must be proud.
I am very, very proud, yes.
So what does this mean to you personally to come on here and to share with the rest of the nation about your son and his life? What does this mean to you?
I've thought a lot about this since we've talked, Liz, and one of the things I want to do is honor Michael. Unfortunately, I did lose him May 17, 2009. He did take his own life, and as a parent, it's been very difficult dealing with his loss. So I'm hoping that this will be something for me where I can be, the way I put it is be unstuck. I feel like I've been stuck for almost 6 years grieving his loss and dealing with his loss. And my hope this evening is, number one, to share my story about Michael, how proud I am of him, his values. He was a great son, and then also share my story with other parents, other mothers, other fathers who have lost their child to suicide that have served in the military.
Yeah. Well, I just commend you for being so brave to come on and talk about something that's so difficult. For the viewers that are listening and don't have the benefit of watching the video that Christina and I had made of this interview, you can actually see on the show page, we're going to be showing Christina's handsome son, Sergeant Michael, or Mikey. And so you'll be able to see a photo of him. I can't even imagine what this experience has been like for you. What kind of advice, what kind of things can you say to other parents that have experienced such a deep loss as to losing their children? What can you say to them, or what do you want to share with them?
Well, to those parents out there, mother, father, that have lost a child, I think you would agree with me that losing a child is one of the greatest losses. I've lost parents and I've lost siblings as well as aunts and uncles, but nothing comes close to the loss of a child. So it's been a difficult journey, and I say journey because every single day I have to make the decision to get up and get out and to live. Because when he took his life, he took a part of me with him, and it's learning how to live without him and learning how to live with his loss. And I know that I have been helped along the way, and there are resources for us parents out there, which we'll get into in a little bit, I'm sure.
Yeah. So what kind of coping advice, I mean, you kind of alluded to it earlier, and I know through the conversations that we've had, you've talked about some of the things that have been helpful for you through this process. What has helped you, if anything, to help you cope with such a tremendous loss?
First of all, I was raised Catholic, and I believe very much in God and in prayer. I believe that prayer helped me those 8 years that he was gone, and especially those tours when he was in Iraq and Afghanistan. Prayer has always been part of my life and still is, and I rely very much on prayer. There are some times, we don't have control over things that happen in our life, and that's when I have to turn it over to God, and I pray. Secondly, of course, family and friends have been supportive of me as well, and it's wonderful to be able to talk to people, be it a friend or a family member, about my loss and what I'm going through. And through one of my very, very good friends, Patty, put me in touch with an organization called TAPS. The acronym stands for Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors, and they are a fabulous resource. It is specifically a program for military families. They offer grief counseling, they offer camps for parents, as well as camps for children that have lost a parent or son or daughter to suicide or in the military. So they are a great resource. Also, through TAPS, I was put in touch with a therapist who I saw for about a year and a half. The program's called Give an Hour, and therapists actually donate their time specifically to military families to be able to help them with the grieving process, and that was very helpful to me as well. So just know, as a mother and a father that have lost a child, there are resources out there, and I believe we'll have that posted on the where are we posting that, Liz?
Yeah, we'll have all this information posted out on the show page. So for all the listeners out there, if you are getting a chance to go back and listen to the podcast, we invite you to go back and listen to the podcast. That information will stay and maintain on the show page. We're going to go ahead and pull up the number here as well.
Yes.
And then that way we can just recite that out for anyone that is listening today. So I think that you had that information,
Yes.
Christina.
The telephone number for TAPS organization is 1-800-959-8277. If you're not able to call and you just like to email them, you can email them at info, that would be INFO, at taps.org. You can get in touch with them there, as well as go on their website, which has a lot of information. They also have a publication that comes out monthly. It's family members that are writing in, and their stories are published, and it's a great resource. And not only that, as a parent, sometimes we think we're just alone, but we're not.
Yeah.
There are a lot of us out there, and so this is, I believe, a great resource. This is what has helped me.
Yeah, no, I think that's amazing that you are taking something like this and you're giving information to other people and reaching out to them. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about the military community and the military family, is that we do have that community where we can reach out and help each other when we're dealing with things like this. Whether it is deployment, like your son being deployed,
Yes.
or whether it's going through something like suicide in the military. I know you and I have talked about a bunch of different things in preparing for this. What is some of the part of it that would be the hardest for you to deal with? I know we've talked about a lot of different things, but what is probably the hardest thing that you can say for you as a mother?
The hardest thing is, again, the final act of suicide. As a parent, we want to be there for our child. We want to be there and comfort them when they're hurting. We want to be able to help. And so I would say that the most difficult thing is, I did receive a call from him just before he, as I put it, committed the deed. He called to say goodbye, but what I would say to any son or daughter out there is, if this is something that you're thinking about, think about mom, dad, that special person in your life, before you decide to go forward with something like this. Reach out. Think of the person that loves you. Think of them. Allow them to help you. Don't feel alone. I know what pain is, because I suffer the pain of loss, but just know that sometimes there's just no turning back. But there's help there for you. Turn to someone that can help you. And I'm sorry, it's really difficult.
Sorry. I know there's going to be a lot of young men and young women that will be listening tonight to the show, people that will be replaying this podcast, watching this on YouTube. And I know that whether they're able to see the pictures of you, whether they hear your voice and they're reminded, or they see the video, people are going to think about that person, that influential person, their mother, their aunt, their sister in their life that has meant so much. And I know you have just such a beautiful heart. And I mean, to all the Mikeys that are out there that are struggling right now, and I know personally, being someone who is served in the military and loves the military, but has also experienced a lot of tough times in the military myself, it's hard to ask for help. It's hard to reach out. What kind of advice, what would you be saying to them? What kind of words do you want to touch their hearts with? Because I know as a mother you can speak to that. and hopefully, whether people are listening tonight and they have that loved one that is kind of their reason for staying, their reason for being, whether they're here today,
Yes.
or they're up there in heaven. You know, can you speak to, as a mother, what would your message be to the other Mikeys that are out there listening tonight?
Just know that even though you are in that darkness, you feel so alone. All we want you to do is to reach out. Don't feel alone. Try to get yourself out of the darkness and pick up that phone, or go on Facebook and message someone or tweet someone. Use any resource that you can to reach out, be it calling a friend, a family member, anyone that you can think of that you can reach out to. Please do that, because if you do leave, you're not giving them a chance to help you. And you deserve that chance to be helped. Don't let the darkness blind you to who can help you out there. There are plenty of resources. Maybe you feel so all alone, but just know that you're not. There are so many people out there that would be able to help you. You just need to ask. And I know in the military, we've got to be tough, and we don't ask, but I'm saying, please, as your mother, please ask. Please pick up the phone and call someone. Please message someone and let them know that you are in pain, and ask for help, even if it's for them to talk to you for a little bit. And, you know, maybe set up a meeting or meet them for coffee tomorrow, but make a plan. Don't let it go dark.
Yeah. You know, that's so important, is to not let that moment pass, you know, to not isolate yourself from other people. I mean, you're listening here, America, and you're hearing the heart of a mother who has walked through it. And just speaking from the depths of her heart, you know, reach out, ask for help. There are people out there. So I would say, you know, that I know that it not only has such a tremendous impact on you, but
Yes.
as well as on other family members. And I know you and I talked about that Michael has a daughter.
Yes.
And how does that affected her? How has that affected the rest of the family, losing him and not having him? Can you speak to that at all?
I think, unfortunately, I don't believe Michael knew how much he was loved and how much he would be missed. And he is missed every day and loved every day. And for all those Mikeys out there, or Michelles, if you will, that have loved ones, a daughter, a son, you want to be there for your child. And so please reach out, because it does affect them for the rest of their lives, not having you around. And we want to see you. We want to see your face. We want to see you smile. We'll even want to see you cry. But just let us in. That's the only thing that I could say, is don't shut yourself off. But please reach out, because there are people out there that love you and that will help you. We want you to be around. We want to help you out of the darkness and out of the pain that you're in. Please give us a chance to do that.
Yeah. And, you know, you'll be listening throughout this interview, and as you've heard some of the music in the background, and I know this is really near and dear to your heart, Christina.
Yes.
Can you tell some of the viewers and the listeners a little bit about your choice of having our background music here?
Sure. After I buried Mikey in California, I drove his truck with his personal belongings, made that trek by myself, of course with the radio going, and all of these songs started to come on, some that I had heard before and some that I hadn't, but there was a message in every single one of them. And I had my spiral notebook right next to me on the console of the truck, and started writing down the titles of these songs, because there was messages for me. And it was as if Mikey was giving me some information that I didn't have. And so when I did come home to Portland, Oregon, I went ahead and we did have a celebration of life a couple of months later, I should say. And one of his very good friends, Derek, went ahead and put the CD together for me. And so the songs that you're hearing tonight are on this special CD that I hold near and dear to my heart. And that's how that CD came about.
That's so beautiful. I think that's such a great tribute. I mean, you and I have talked about this, that Mikey, he's not here physically, but he's always with you.
Yes, absolutely.
What do you think he's thinking right now when he's looking down on this moment and seeing you have this courage to get up and to speak about something? This is your very first time. For those that don't know, this is your very first time, publicly coming out and talking about it. What do you think Mikey is thinking right now as he's looking down and watching over you?
He said, oh my God, he's saying, oh, she's crazy. Because every time we were talking, we would laugh about something, he would just say, you're just crazy, Mom, you're crazy. And so he, I think, would be proud of me to be able to share his story, a little bit about him. He was just such a good kid. He was a fun kid. Anybody that met him loved him. He was my heart.
Yeah.
And I miss him every single day, every day. So I think that as I was very proud of him to have him as my son, he knew that I loved him dearly with all my heart, and I would hope that he would just be proud of me for being able to share a little bit about him with you all out there.
Yeah. I have no doubt in my mind that he is incredibly proud of his mom right now. And I just feel so honored and so blessed to be a part of your life and to share with the rest of the nation a little bit about his life, and to honor him as one of our brave and courageous warriors, one of our freedom fighters, one of my brothers in arms.
Yes.
And I'm just so incredibly proud of him. And I know he is looking down. I mean, heaven must have needed a hero and an angel. And I know he's looking down, and he is incredibly proud of you right now and your courage to share your heart with the world. And I think it's a good thing, because in the midst of everything, there is peace and there's healing that can come from that. And we're only in this world for a short time anyway, as we're passing through, and I know he's never left you.
That's true, he hasn't, and I'm just hoping that I have been able to maybe just help one Mikey, one Michelle out there to just know that you are loved, you're not alone, and there's someone there that will be able to help you.
Great message, straight from the heart. Christina, I just want to thank you again for taking the time to be with us here tonight on the Liz Luras Show on Soldier Talk Radio to honor Sergeant Michael Berganio. Is there any other closing words that you have for the rest of America?
Just know that I thank you, Liz, for giving me this opportunity to be able to talk about Mikey and just share a little bit about him and myself with you all out there. And just know that I'm just hoping that I'll be able to help anyone out there that feels alone. Just know that you're not, and to please reach out to anyone that you can think of to help you along in this journey of ours, because we're all on the same journey. And I just hope that I was able to help someone. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you. And all of the information that Christina shared is going to be listed on the show page again. So we will have the contact information for TAPS. We have a couple other resources that are going to be listed on the page, as well as photos of all of our heroes that we're honoring tonight. So make sure to take a look at that, share it with somebody that is in need, and make sure that you're putting it out there in your social media feeds, because I think the more that we talk about this, the less stigma there is and the more hope for help that there will be. So thank you again, Christina. God bless, and have a wonderful night.
Thank you. Thank you, Liz. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Bye-bye.